Hey there, Betties and Buddies. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of our Big Little Lies coverage. I'm Bethany.
I'm Kristin.
And we, no one else, are your Betties.
No one else.
Don't get twisted.
My bush.
Follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Send us shit to boobtubebuddies@gmail.com. Go to our site, boobtubebuddies.com, to check out our other content. I got a little note here from Adam, our fellow buddy, because I haven't been mentioning the other shows, so he made me a little sticky. So check out the rest of the guys that make up our little ragtag.
The Walking Taboo.
Right.
They're doing
Taboo's
Legion
done.
of Logan.
Taboo's actually done, and you're better than me because I didn't have Logan on here. But we're doing Walking Dead, the buddies are.
That really good show, The Best of February. I love that show.
Legion. They covered the movie Logan, and they are actually going to cover Kong later this week. And then, like Kristin alluded to, we do a best of for every month, and Kristin and I are doing Feud. So if you have any ideas or something, there's a show you love that you want us to cover, we'll probably do it, as long as it's not like, you know,
if you want to call in and fight with us, it'd be a great segment for Feud.
Send in anything, it will end up on the podcast. I can guarantee you that. Well, yeah.
I literally want to make a dick pic joke every time you say that.
I know. I immediately pictured dicks. If they're away.
Send us your dick pics.
Send us your dick pics. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. And 5 stars on iTunes would be the tits. Mm-hmm. No pressure. But we're talking Big Little Lies, episode 4. Push comes to shove. Just so you guys.
The name of the episode. I never noticed that before. Did you? Have they done that before? I
didn't notice it either, and I'm trying to remember. Did she name her chapters? Was that a name of a chapter? No, she didn't.
No, but I noticed it in the intro at when she's driving away, and all of a sudden it just said, "Push comes to shove."
Yeah, I don't know. This is the first time I've written it down, so maybe. Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
You know, because people are pushed and shoved.
Mm-hmm.
Physical
violence.
We're going to have our regular segment, 2 Truths and 1 Big Little Lie. And if you're missing our previous bit, oh my God, you know who that is, right? You're going to have to check out our coverage of Feud on FX, where that is currently being featured. Kristin.
Yes.
If you don't mind, I would like to dedicate this episode to my sweet pug boy, Bosley. If you've been listening to us, then you will have definitely heard his sweet pug snores in the background and bumping and scuttling in previous episodes.
And Baby Bosch was in Feud last week.
Yes, he was. He was our little old man, and I'm sad to say that he has crossed over the Rainbow Bridge last week. So he's watching us from Puggy Heaven now, wishing he could interrupt us with some well-placed gags and farts.
Chilling with other pugs, such as Gussie and Jack.
Whew, I got through that without crying. I can say, honestly, that's my first time saying his name and not crying.
Good job.
Bosley Eugene, you live on forever, and this one is for you. Cheers.
Cheers. Chin chin.
All right, Kristin. You got any housekeeping?
Not for this one.
Not for this one. Okay. Let's dive in.
Yeah.
Abigail moving out. Mm-hmm. Chloe making that awesome playlist. I love that Alabama Shake song. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I know. She's, like, incredible.
It's so cute.
It is
that
adorable.
She made that for Madeline, because Madeline's heart is broken.
If I had a little girl like that, I would explode. Like, that would be the most amazing thing in the entire world.
I know. It's so cute. That meeting with Madeline and Nathan to discuss transitional parenting.
It's just like, you know how we're fleshing out the characters now?
Yeah.
Nathan is a douchebag.
He is such a goddamn tool.
He's like the worst. And I like James Tupper. And he just sucks at life. Like, even though Nathan was such a bad guy in the past in the book.
Yeah.
They didn't really make it known just like how big of a douchebag.
I thought Nathan just seemed sort of aloof and dopey in the book. No, they make him kind of aggressively douchey.
Beefcake type of... Yeah. I don't know. Just so... But on the other end, co-parenting, I don't even want to even think about how to... That seems just so difficult.
Oh, yeah. Well, even this dinner is not his idea. It's Bonnie's idea. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of cracking here. Like,
oh, absolutely.
You can see that not everything is peachy keen over at the Nathan Bonnie household either, because he talks about how he's doing this all for Bonnie, just like he did everything for Madeline, and he's like really insulting, and her face is just like, what the fuck?
I mean, the shit he did for her is kind of crazy, though. He spent a lot of money on saving energy.
Oh my god. It was funny, but I love Madeline's sort of reaction. Like, she doesn't take the bait. She's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What's your fucking point?
Right. I did want to ask you a question, and I'm going to have to tread lightly here because I don't want to give something away.
Okay.
This, in the book.
Yes.
When they meet.
Yes.
I thought the impetus for them meeting was Nathan having something to say about Abigail moving. Because there was a big thing.
Yes, it was. However, they kind of alluded to that they were meeting because of the tutor instead.
Right, because of the tutor and just the...
And we're not really spoiling anything because there have been parts that they've taken out and there has been parts that they added. So if you are confused by what we're talking about, once we know for sure, at the end, we will say what we were talking about if they don't cover it. I don't mind if they leave that out, but okay. I doubt they will, though.
You don't think? Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, I just was curious if that was the point. We'll see.
Yeah.
They took some, this episode, they took some creative liberties with the storylines.
I'm not too happy about.
Yeah.
But, okay, so... After that meeting, Perry finds out that Celeste is going to be helping with some of the legal work.
Right, and he's mad because she didn't consult him.
Are you kind of over these scenes a little bit?
Because they're the same
every time?
They're the
exact same. Like, I feel like I can fast forward through them, talk about them, and I wouldn't be wrong. It's literally like, this is happening. Why didn't we discuss it? Because blah, blah, blah. But why didn't we discuss it? Blah, blah, blah. Anger, violence.
It's kind of like what you said last episode, where it's like, come on, Celeste. You know this is what he's going to say.
Exactly.
But, and she says she's going to hit me now. And he really calmly says, do you want me to hit you?
Mm-hmm. And you can almost see herself questioning herself. But it's not because she necessarily wants to be hit. It's just it's what she's used to.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's like a bad habit almost.
Yes. I was glad he didn't hit her there.
Me too.
Every time they're in a scene together, I can feel the muscles in my shoulders tense.
They're gonna have a really annoying conversation, and then somebody's gonna get hit, and then they're gonna fuck. Okay, we can move on.
It's gonna involve the closet.
Exactly.
Some clothes.
Exactly. And some ugly piece of jewelry to cover the exact bruising or mark.
Oh my god.
I cut your ear off. Here's an earring.
I don't know where to put that. Oh my god. Ed doing the silly Elvis impression. How adorable is this? Madeline walks in, it's completely dark.
It was so adorable.
Oh, it was cute. And he's on the table, and it's such an innocent moment, and then it's sullied by the police interview cut where they're like,
they're vicious.
The neighbor, they're what is it?
Viciously competitive.
I know.
Yeah, that seems real vicious.
The neighbors could hear them rehearsing. And these interviews just show how petty people are.
It's like so telephony.
And how one tiny bit of information, one fact, neighbors heard them singing a song, can be misconstrued in so many different directions.
It's this disgusting game of telephone.
I mean, you can take anything and just turn it into something nasty.
Hell yeah. And I would like to think I'm better than that.
I like to think I'm better than that too, but I know I do that shit. And I eat it up when other people do it.
Dude, we are covering 2 shows that is literally the definition of petty.
And we're going to talk about that.
I'm starting to look at myself as a person as I literally engulf 2 hours of nothing but pettiness. I'm like,
oh, God.
Let's go look in the mirror for 5 minutes.
I gotta self-examine myself here. So they're still right after he does that song, Madeline's complaining about Bonnie and Ed, and Chloe comes in again and suggests that Rainbow song.
It was adorable.
I know, it was very, very cute.
I want her.
You want her? Mm-hmm. We get that Jane on beach, blue dress flashback.
Her storyline to me seems like one big dizzy dream.
It definitely does. It's hard to know what's present, what's past, and they really make her seem like I'm making that loony notion you do with your finger by your head. They
or
make her
that,
seem very unstable.
The 7th episode's going to come around and, like, somebody's going to come out of nowhere and be like, Jane Chapman's been dead for 50 years.
Oh,
like,
I would hate that.
She's like, it's like she's non-existent. It's just a bunch of flashes of potential, what could be, what did happen, and what is real,
right, because the only people that are around her are Madeline and Celeste.
Exactly.
It's some sort of weird psychosis that they've... Ugh.
Exactly. Jane is literally a figment of their imagination.
Okay, that is not in the book, and if they do that...
If that creative liberty is taken, we're done. But we won't find out until the last episode, and we're like, you know what, we're done. And so is everybody else, because the season is over.
That scene at the end where she jumped off the cliff, that was real, and it happened several years prior.
Exactly.
It's definitely confusing, and I don't necessarily know what they're trying to do with that, but
I think it's because a lot of the stuff that Jane goes through in the book is internal, and it's almost hard to express that. So the way they're expressing it is through a bunch of dizzying montages of past,
she's
present,
in a wheelchair
future
spinning around in a circle really fast.
I love that. That's a good reference.
That's from Feud. Listen to the Feud podcast.
You aren't ever gonna leave here!
Because you didn't eat your dinner. Ziggy sleepwalking, fucking scary as shit.
My kid sleepwalks.
I know, it's awful.
I swear to God.
And he does ask about his dad, and I think that this is an important foreshadowing moment. How are you,
I thought you were gonna say an important fart.
It's an important fart. He says, like, you don't have to look for him for me if that's what you're doing. I'm fine. And I think that puts it shines a light on Jane. Why did they move to Monterey? What's going on?
What's behind it? Right.
This whole time you think she's running away from something. Is she actually looking for Mr. Saxon Banks? You know what I mean? It's kind of... I think that was an important line. And that was a sweet moment.
Mm-hmm. He seems like such a sweet little kid.
I like when somebody's being interviewed and they talk about how far apart his eyes are. That's
like a sociopath.
I think it's a sign of Downs, but I don't think it's a sign of
said the
anything
chick
else.
whose eyes were really far apart, by the way. That's the one thing I did notice of. She's like, their eyes are really far apart. I'm like, compared to what, big eyes?
Her glasses are on and one eye is like...
Exactly. She's got her right eye hanging out.
I should know.
That's just my insecurities.
Perry sees the Celeste suit in the closet.
The $4,000 suit.
Oh,
I had to pause because I wanted to know what price that was.
See, I thought it was a man's suit at first. And I was like, oh, he thinks that she's cheating on him. But no,
that's a barista's suit.
That was a power suit.
That's a barista's suit.
I wear this when I'm playing a barista.
When I'm making coffees and being important.
And he spouts some shit about... He's concerned about her stress level and her falling apart again. Had they talked about this previously, that she fell apart while trying to get pregnant with the boys?
No, they haven't done that, but she kept honing in on the fact of, well, I'm not trying to get pregnant, so... And then in typical selfish motherfucking style, what's the next thing he decides he wants for the family?
Of course. So he can control her and put her back under his thumb. Let's have a baby girl, which made me cringe. He wants that baby girl.
If you go to pieces, who's going to put you back together again? Mm-hmm. And this is such a typical thing to say of an abuser, to make the other person feel like without them, they're nothing. Mm-hmm. And that's almost like he says that to her and then almost mulls on it and thinks, oh shit, if I get her to want another baby, then she won't want to have the anxiety because she's trying to get pregnant. Then she won't go back to work, and now I have my way.
Well, she'll be focused on the family again.
Exactly.
Because he can see her drifting.
He's a selfish fuck.
He is, but their sex looks good.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of sex, Madeline and Jane at the coffee shop talk about it. And how Ed likes to dress up in panties and handcuffs, and he likes
Edward
to
from Twilight
tickle his balls with feather dusters.
Doesn't seem Ed.
No,
but I like it. You're seeing another side of Ed, definitely.
Jane does share that she feels herself kind of waking up again, that telling Madeline about the abuser, getting those words out of her mouth kind of took some power away, which is good to hear.
Yeah, and the fact that her body is like almost waking up. That whole scene, I don't know, but that took me back to the book completely, because there is a whole thing where she talks about now seeing men as sort of sensual and all that and getting that feeling. And I thought Shailene played that monologue, or not monologue, but pretty well.
Yeah, I thought that,
It was very true to the book.
I thought so too. I thought she did a good job there with all the nuance, and how to make that dialogue flow. And she's a good actress, I think. Like,
she's a great actress.
I think that she's so young. She's gonna continue to grow.
She's gonna do good things.
She's gonna do such good things. I wish her neck wasn't that thick. That her neck is so strong, so thick.
It is. I never thought about that, but you're right. And
you're gonna notice.
So that new haircut is not working with it, because it's like a bob with a thick neck. It just doesn't it doesn't go right. But I do like, one of the lines that really stuck out at me with that was when she said, I pretended it was nothing, so it became everything. And that's so true. Like, when you try to pretend something's not anything, and then all of a sudden it just consumes you.
Well, it's like grief. Not to go back to my sweet Bosley boy.
Yeah.
But when you try to not think about something, and like, I just need to move on, it doesn't go away.
That's all you can think about.
It festers in there and becomes something even worse.
Smoke weed.
Better. Smoke weed? I wish that I could. I can't. It makes me so paranoid. It makes me sick.
During sad times, though, it will take away your give a fuck.
I don't know. I remember Adam, my husband, and I.
We're coming to you straight from Colorado.
In high school, I remember I was with him. I had smoked, and I told him, like, it feels like hot ham and cheese sandwiches on my ribs, and I remember that. Out.
I just had a flashback of you telling me that a long time ago.
It's one of my favorite memories of him from high school, because he was so sweet and kind, and he let me sleep in his bed. Wasn't inappropriate. Yeah, he didn't take advantage of the high girl who's like half naked in his bed. Who was like,
I found some good pictures of high school Adam the other day. Like, it's like maybe a month out of high school, long hair, aviators, a beanie, and like a blue pea coat. And I was like, I got to show Bethany that picture, because she will love it so much.
Of course, he's my husband. I always think he's sexy, but in high school,
you think he's foxy?
Oh, I think he's so foxy. I remember I told one of our friends who I went to high school with, Jamie, I remember her telling her, like, he gives me a heartbeat in my crotch. That was actually in my vows.
Really?
No.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
You gave me my first lady boner.
And then I knew life would never be the same.
Celeste shows up and they talk about the case and how they don't want her to move back, because Jane says she's thinking about moving back home with all this stuff going on.
Yeah, I have a real issue with Nicole Kidman in this scene.
You do?
Yes. When she like gets really close to Jane and starts talking to her, I had to rewind it a couple times, because I'm like, am I crazy? Nope. Just extremely bad acting in this part, because the book is based in Australia, so I'm sure Nicole Kidman's not very happy that she's going to play her character American when the whole book is really from Australia. But she sounds straight up Australian when talking to her.
I notice several different slips with her. Even in some of her movies, it
was very thick in this part, and it annoyed the hell out of me to the point where I noted it.
You noted it.
Yeah. I'm like, is Celeste supposed to be American? She sounds Australian.
Oi, mate. We don't want you to go back home. Let me get my didgeridoo.
The only thing I want to say is, the dingo ain't your baby.
The dingo ain't your baby. Okay, so Bonnie's yoga dance class.
What
so
Ed says
awful.
to her.
I know, what the fuck?
Unfucking comfortable.
What are they doing? Okay, so they're adding weird shit when Ed says he likes a sweat on women. Like,
yeah, it was very rando and very out of character for Ed.
Is he supposed to be attracted to her, or I think intimidated by her?
I don't know. The way he acted it made it sound like, I just talked out loud and I probably shouldn't. Ugh. But I don't know. It was weird. I didn't like it.
No, I mean, he basically comes there to say, look, we're the sane ones here. Nathan and Madeline are volatile, and it'll be up to you and me to keep it civil.
Yeah.
And Bonnie just, She does kind of say, like, look, we all have baggage. Like,
because she said, well, you've been kind of aggressive lately too, as of late. And he says, well, it's because I feel bad for my wife. Her dad abandoned her, Nathan abandoned her, and now Abigail. And then she's like, well, we all have baggage.
Right. And I do like at the end that Ed says, don't give her advice or tell her how to peel a potato.
I love that because I can totally relate to that.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean? How can you relate to that?
Meaning, like, if somebody bothers you like that so much, it's like, don't give me advice.
Ugh.
Do not.
Every little thing they say.
Mm-hmm. Do not. No suggestions here. Leave your suggestions in the comment box, and I'll go through them later.
What do we got here? Oh, the next scene, Amabella. Mm-hmm. Sad. The teacher speaks with her, and basically someone's hurting her. She asks if it's Ziggy, and she says that Ziggy's still her friend, but bullying is still an issue, and we don't really know if it's Ziggy or not, because Amabella won't open her fucking mouth.
You know, for a gifted woman.
So...
She's not very good at the gift of speech.
I told you earlier, in my own household, we were having a bit of a bully issue at school. Mm-hmm. It's the second time that this happened to my daughter. And you can bet your ass that she tried to deal with it herself, went to the teacher, and told Adam and I handled that shit. Mm-hmm. And also, as I was handling it, I really related to Renata, because I know who this little bastard's mother is, and she...
Don't sugarcoat it.
She belongs in the gutter. She looks like something you pick out of your drain, like your garbage disposal.
She looks like a mom who doesn't necessarily teach her son how to treat a lady.
Correct. Thank you.
Well, we need less of that in the world.
Right. Thanks for making this trash kid so he can go to school with my daughter and... say terrible things to her.
Exactly. And speaking of shitty fucking men who probably grow up to be assholes, Madeline thinks she has found Saxon Banks, who is maybe Saxon Baker, because sometimes interior designers call themselves architects.
Okay, so, but we're about to... You want to go to a commercial break?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll be right back. Enjoy this. What are we doing here? Is it...
Feud.
A feud commercial?
No, absolutely not. Sorry.
We gotta get our shit together. We'll be right back.
A letter from our sponsors. A word from our sponsors.
www.audibletrial.com/Boob Tube Buddies. Get it, got it good. Hello. RoboFox Man here to tell you about Audible.com. I accessed Audible's internal servers to teach myself about your species. I learned to laugh. I learned to love. And now I'm going to exterminate you all. You too can access this great wealth of information for free. By doing so, you also support the hilarious podcast, Boob Tube Buddies. That human, Foxman, is especially funny. Ha. Ha. Go to www.audibletrial.com/BoobTubeBuddies to get your free month trial. The best way to predict the future is to invent it, little buddies.
Hey guys, we're back. Still talking Big Little Lies. Hope you enjoyed.
Oh, we're not talking feud? I already threw my notes out.
God damn it, when you said that for a second, I'm like, oh, that's the wrong thing. We're so stupid. I love this scene.
Oh,
the scene in the mayor's office.
Oh, so good.
Oh, it's so good.
It's every moment you want to have professionally.
Oh, totally.
So good.
Madeline is nervous. She thinks the director, is having second thoughts about fighting for this play. Celeste, cool as a cucumber. Renata,
it's the suit.
It's the fucking power suit.
It's the power suit.
Renata pulls up, and then it's like, oh, god damn you, Renata. And then the mayor. Can I just say, I hate the mayor. He's like, can't have puppets fucking.
Yeah, he seems real profesh.
He says it over and over again, and his language is like so vulgar, which is funny since that's the point they're arguing about the play.
That's actually really funny that you say that.
And Renata's like, "You're so cute.
You're so adorable."
Just pandering to him, and
it would take everything in me not to do that, like sucking motion, like whatever.
The only thing I will say is, knowing Renata, she hates the mayor. Like, there's no way she doesn't understand that he's a jackass, and she's just...
Oh, yeah, she's playing up to it.
And I
know a couple jackasses at my work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you do what you gotta do, but... And they did say earlier on that you don't want to piss this mayor off because he's vengeful.
Awesome.
Sweet. Can't wait to have an open discussion.
Like, just another petty layer to the petty show.
And he basically says that the play's divisive. And we want to bring the town together. Let's do Sound of Music.
Let's do Sound of Music. Like, do you not know what that movie's about?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I will say, I really love Sound of Music.
Oh, I love the Sound of Music. I mean, my dad used to sing me Edelweiss because I'm such a little German, but...
You are, yeah, Nazi sympathist.
Yeah, okay, well, that's too far, but...
But I love...
It was my great aunt that we disowned as a family.
I mean, my last name is Foxman, so it's a little like...
Well, it was Frere.
Yeah, that's Irish.
Oh, okay. Well, then we're good.
You said it like super German, like... What is
My
it? I love...
Your maiden name is Fräulein, isn't it?
I rip off my big nose, and underneath is like a tiny little... Pull out my brown contacts.
This is my maiden face.
Blonde and blue-eyed and pale. Oh.
Hey, take it easy.
You're tan.
What's...
I do
Put me next to my husband.
I do love Celeste here because she listens to everyone and is very...
That's a great point.
Yeah, she is. And then she's like, but you've already lost.
I loved that. Like, you can say as many reasons as you want, but you're fucked legally.
Yeah, and she does it in just such a beautiful way. She cites federal law, basically.
And then appeals to the mayor, like, this is not the town you wanted to... this is not how you wanted to approach being mayor. And I love how she looks at Renata and was like, listen, this is the village we all chose to raise our family in.
Appeals to that, yep. I mean, she just plays it so cool, so collected and calmly, and you can just see everyone.
It was my favorite scene of hers so far.
It was wonderful. Mm-hmm. I watched it with just this smile on my face, and throughout the meeting, Madeline has been interjecting with Madelineisms, and Celeste is keeping her at bay, but even Madeline can appreciate this and sort of gives Renata a calming sort of smile, like, this is...
You can't argue. She's definitely the definition of cool as a cucumber.
Right. So we see that from Celeste, and so we know that they've sort of won this discussion, but it seems like everyone is very civilized, and then you got Madeline in the car, and she says, stick that up your tight ass, bitch.
She has got... So I bet, she read the script and she's like, I'll take it for the one-liners.
I promise I have... Reese must love these lines. Because it must be so much fun to do those over and over again.
I've seen shows where they get a couple and it's like, wow, those are good lines. She gets at least 2 every episode that are just amazing. Best ones.
I really do like the way they show that. And they do it a couple other times, too, where they show you Celeste, and then they show you Madeline, and they show the contrasting takes on a situation. And
a lot of relationships in this episode, or not episode, but the series, are based on opposite attracts. Because you would not think a woman like Bonnie would be with a guy like Nathan, or Madeline with Ed almost. And
I think what they show you is similar family dynamics, things that we all go through and struggles that we all have, and how vastly different families can handle them, and how the conversations are so different based on personality
Absolutely.
and what you've gone through. So it was great, and I love where Madeline tells her how amazing she was and what a great job she did, and Celeste starts to cry, and that made me really sad. And she says being a mother is not enough, and that's awful, and I feel terrible about it, but it's not enough.
How do you feel?
Madeline empathizes with her. I agree. That I have fantasized so many times about just getting to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, oh, I would love it. And
me too.
I can be at the school. I can be the homeroom mom, and every afternoon we could do crafts, and the house would be clean, and we would go on these adventures, and I would be like best mom ever.
Me too.
But I know at the end of the day, I would feel like I didn't have an identity. I value the things that I do a lot, even though I complain about them. They give me...
But it's what shapes your children, in my opinion. I'm not saying that you have to be a working mom or a stay-at-home mom, but I'm saying that there's something to be said for a working mom that... And I only say that because I'm also a working mom, so if I were a stay-at-home mom, I'd have a different perspective. It's not negative. I would love to be a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, me too. And honestly, if even knowing that about myself, if somebody said, okay, you can be a stay-at-home mom, would you like? And I would
take
sign
it.
Yeah,
I would sign right on the dotted line.
I will find myself blah blah blah.
I'll become a Madeline who decides to sign up halftime for community theater
if I need that. Yeah,
because I needed that.
It's something right, and that is a great. She's the 0.0001% of women that can work from home and also have time and support to be able to pursue something she's interested in, which. I don't know many women that are.
I want to be a television show working mom where they work and they make a lot of money, but they're never working.
Right.
You know, that's the goal I would like to reach is a television mom.
I'm not on either side. Guys, working moms I empathize with. Stay-at-home moms I empathize with.
Grass is greener.
The grass is greener, and
because there's something to be said about being in an office or professional situation where you get to feel a little bit of power, and it makes you feel like it makes you feel so independently like awesome, like I did this. But then I can tell you right now, there are nights where I can't come home until after my kid is asleep, and I feel like the worst mom ever. So I don't think like I said, I don't know if I could choose to be a stay-at-home mom. I would have to be a Madeline stay-at-home mom, where I was rich enough to where I could dedicate some of my time to helping something and feeling good and having an identity, but also be there 100% with my kids. And then if I just need at the drop of the hat, be a chaperone for a field trip, or be the stay-at-home, the homeroom, or make be the homemaker plus have sort of a boss bitch part of my life as well.
Right. I will say that you and I are lucky because, and I don't think, and this is probably a good point to talk about this, I don't know, I want it for women, but a lot of women don't have strong female friendships, relationships, a group of women that can get together and be themselves, and it doesn't matter, you are not judged.
The importance of that is so underestimated.
It's part of my identity.
Me
like
too.
Anytime somebody asks me, tell me about yourself, it's one of the first things that comes up. I am so proud and thankful of my female friendships.
Same here.
And we'll probably talk about this on Feud
It completes
too.
me. Like,
yeah. I don't love the image of women.
Go ahead. We've said a lot more offensive things on here before.
I'm just trying to articulate it, and it's hard because I watch Big Little Lies and Feud back to back, and it's you are actually the one that brought it up. Like, whoa, two of the cattiest episodes of women being pitted against one another, and you see the worst of it. And I think it only serves to bolster the opinion that women are nasty to one another and are cutthroat and competitive, and that's just not the reality of a real relationship. And if that's what you have experienced, I'm so sorry, because that doesn't have to be the case.
You need those friendships that build you up,
right? I totally.
We have a message board that literally we if any part of the day shit's going on and we post it to the board, an hour later, we feel a little bit better because one of our other 6 friends has come on and said something that's just like, you know what? Thank God for you guys, because I don't think I could fester on this all day.
And to bring it back to this, everyone's different. We've got full-time working moms. We've got full-time stay-at-home moms. We've got moms that work at night, so which is great because then there's always somebody available in the middle of the night to talk to.
Exactly. It's very true.
We have friends that are
Breastfeeding was amazing, by the way, because I knew that if he woke me up at 4 a.m.
You'd have someone there.
Jen, you, or Karen would be there. I know Karen would be there.
It's a wonderful, I would urge you, if you don't have that it's
definitely something to seek out, man.
It is something to work towards. I don't know what
because you know, boys are your boys, but your friends are your soulmates, man.
This is what I wanted to say before I went off on that tangent. I can feel my eyes like wanting to like I love my friends. I think if society was different, I would be fine with being a stay-at-home mom. But it's still just not about, it's just not seen as contributing. It's not the same as the other spouse partner going off to work because they're providing all the money. Yeah. So I know that I would feel the pressure of being a stay-at-home mom. Like, am I not doing enough? Because right now,
see, at this point, I'm like, bring it on.
Because I mean, really, for women in general, you kind of have to do like double team it. You got to work full time, and then a lot of times you're doing most of the parenting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, stay-at-home moms, the most underappreciated.
That's what I mean. So that's the part that makes me hesitate about wanting to be a stay-at-home mom, is that I wouldn't feel like, not that stay-at-home moms do. Oh, that's the hardest.
Well, stay-at-home moms don't clock in and clock out.
Right.
That's the thing. That's what people underappreciate, is that, you know, you have the person, one of the people in there going to work all day and they get home and they relax because they've been at work all day. But so has the stay-at-home mom. Right. The mom's actually been up before the person that went to work and is going to be up after, especially if you have older kids, school projects, everything like that, driving back and forth, keeping the peace, you can't.
Those stereotypes they still linger, and that sort of training mentality, it's in our brains. We're wired that way.
Well, if you're listening and you don't have a lot of female friends, please reach out to the Boob Tube Buddies, because we will talk to you and we will tell you why you are amazing and why you should be appreciated.
And if you disagree with us about being any of it, please.
We would love to hear.
I am like what I was making fun of last episode, an on the fence kind of person. Like, you tell me what you think, and I'll be like, you're right. Or men. I know we're very much like feministy right now, but the same. It can be reversed for me. This can be no.
It could be a role reversal. It could be a wife and a wife. It could be a husband and a husband. If you stay at home and the other goes to work,
I gotta be honest. I don't really believe that. I think it's much harder for women. I don't really believe that.
What, like a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Well, they probably don't feel as much pressure, because as women, we feel so much pressure.
I hate men. Basically what I just said. Just kidding. I just don't think you're as smart or work as hard or as like... in tuned or love your children as much as
just keeps getting better and better and better. I'm just gonna let you keep talking.
Unless you're a gay couple, then you're wonderful. Let's get back on track here.
Okay, so
you're gonna be a lawyer again. I fucking miss it. Beep, 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 beep. That made me happy, but sad because Perry won't let her ever.
Yeah, honey, that's not happening.
And then this really unorthodox lunch with the teacher and Jane, where asks
she's
about
definitely a first timer.
She's definitely got to be a first year teacher. We don't really need to talk about that. He
gave him a look and she gave him a look, and I knew something was up.
And she says she's on Jane's side, gives her a card for a psychologist.
She says she's on Jane's side, but is like, but I'm pretty stuck to my opinion that Ziggy's beating the shit out of her.
I'll take another Chardonnay.
Exactly.
This scene, Avenue Q.
I literally have Dash, my least favorite part?
This Avenue Q rehearsal. Let's just cut to it.
It's not in the book.
We've been, and you and I have talked about how their interactions seem flirty. Mm-hmm. Well, they have been.
Yep.
And he kisses her.
Mm-hmm.
And she kisses him. Mm-hmm. And she's, and by her, I mean Madeline. Madeline is explaining this to Celeste, sort of like spilling her guts to Celeste. Mm-hmm. And it cuts in between the two scenes. So Madeline,
and it goes from, he came on to me to, no, we just had kind of a make-out session where we were pretty handsy.
He put his hand on my shirt. Or did I put my hand up his shirt? Mm-hmm. And it's a very, very passionate kiss. And, she grabbed his ass. And I just love that Celeste is laughing at the ridiculousness. Oh, sorry. Oh, that wasn't a fart. I moved my chair. I swear to God.
Yes, it was.
that Celeste.
That's what happens when you pull my finger.
Celeste just finds this hilarious. And
Perry comes out and acts like husband of the year.
Well, so Madeline says that Joe, the director, says he's in love with her, mm-hmm. and she slaps him across the face.
Yeah.
And Celeste is laughing so hard, and Perry comes out, and I'm like, oh, fuck, stop laughing, or
don't enjoy yourself in life.
Don't enjoy yourself, because he asks what she's laughing at, and she's like, nothing. And there's nothing I hate worse than walking in on people laughing, and I say, what are you laughing at? Nothing. They're either A, laughing about me, B, think I'm too stupid to get it. Like, B, too stupid to get it. Or C, it was something super, super fun that I missed out on. Like, all of those are terrible.
Yep. It's very hard to watch Alexander Skarsgård smile like that, too.
His smile is creepy.
His smile is just like...
Seems really hard for him to do.
Exactly.
It looks so unnatural.
Like... The only time he ever did that in True Blood when he was doing something really evil.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's when I like, and Perry's such a good guy that when I see him smile, I feel like it's definitely supposed to be good.
Knowing about him, the following shared family moments that seem so warm, knowing that they're not, and he says something like, oh, when she wants something, she goes after and gets her way.
But don't you worry, if she tries, I'll stop it. I think that's what you really mean, Perry.
The aquarium. Jane and Ziggy at the aquarium. And they have this wonderful day. And I love that he's like, last time this happened, you told me we were moving.
Why the fuck did she taught her son White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane?
Oh, I didn't recognize that song.
That's a really fucked up song to have your, kid know.
Well, she's kind of fucked up.
That's if Max turns 5, I teach him Indigado de Vita or some shit like that.
Baby.
Actually, that's a lot sweeter than fucking White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane.
That pizza they were eating looked terrible. It looked like
something Jane could afford. No, I'm just kidding.
It looked worse than a hot and ready. Which when Adam and I were poor, we had hot and readies every week.
DiGiorno?
A hot and ready is a Little Caesars pizza.
Oh, I've never heard of a hot and ready.
Yeah, because you've never been dirt poor.
No, I used to do Cece's.
Oh, Cece's, yeah. Mm-hmm. $5, whole pizza, feeds you.
Cece's, $5, all you can eat. Okay.
But it didn't even look as good as a hot and ready. But she's basically like, you're going to go see a psychologist.
Last time you took me out for a long, nice day, you told me we were moving.
Poor
and I love how she just kind of was like, oh, well, you're going to go see a psychologist, so
yeah,
there you go.
Bonnie and Nathan's
just looking for a fight.
Yeah, Nathan's like, did he hit on you? Which
give me a reason to punch him.
If I were her, I would have been like, well, he told me he liked my body sweaty.
I was really hoping she would say that. And God, fucking pretentious ass body. I'm just here outside doing my beating.
Making her jewelry,
This comes from a place of jealousy, because if I actually could live my life where I felt calm in living like her every day, it'd probably be a really calm life to live, but...
I just can't really, relate to that or understand it.
At all.
Because there's never a day where I'm just calm the whole day.
She's like one of those people that I was like, I can't drink coffee, it gives me the shakes.
Oh my God, I gotta drink coffee so I can take the shits.
I love how you just said that like an old man. I gotta drink my coffee so I can take my shit. I felt like I needed to play canasta with you.
Abigail leaves something under her arm. Okay, so that might allude to what we were talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Bonnie is the voice of reason. I guess we see the dynamic between her and Nathan. I miss the sentiment of this scene. I don't think it was a necessary scene.
It just really showed me that she's really dating somebody that's her complete opposite, because
they seem ill suited for one another.
Because the Nathan in the book might have dated Bonnie, from what we learned about Nathan in the book, because Nathan in the book was not as aggressive.
Yes. And
he's a lot more aggressive in like fire starter type of thing, and she's not.
Right, and I don't think Bonnie would be necessarily attracted to that either, from what we've seen.
Maybe like initially, but like to have like a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, but not forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that scene was a throwaway scene for me.
Mm-hmm. And then Maddie and Ed discuss dinner, amongst other things.
This made me sad.
Come on, baby, let me make you feel better.
Yeah, he's trying to comfort her, and she says she's sad, feels like she's losing control. And for me, I'm assuming she's talking about the Joe interaction.
Yeah.
And she's so word vomity, like she just says whatever's on her mind. I thought maybe she'll tell him here. But she doesn't spill the beans. And he's so sweet, and he's holding her, and he even does that like little pout lip. Mm-hmm. Which I normally hate, but having a baby boy when he does that.
Oh my god.
The breasts fill with milk.
Seriously, that pout lip. Oh my god, that the shivering chin. Oh my god,
I'm pretending to squirt breast milk at Kristin. Celeste smoking pot. Was she the smoking pot?
Oh my god, I wanted to be her in that scene, just with that view and the headphones,
like,
and the joints,
her day,
like
her successful day, and knowing what a badass she was.
All I could think in that moment was, man, if I had that money, and my like nightly routine when the kids weren't around was just to like put on whatever soundtrack that Big Little Lies has provided me this evening, a joint in the beach. I'd be so happy.
I feel like if she had a dick in that scene, she would have been masturbating.
Probably.
The next morning, though, where she's getting dressed and Perry's complimenting her, and goddamn bitch has meeting with an attorney.
Papa ain't happy.
No, he's not happy, and he said, you lied to me, and she kind of did. Why didn't she lie here and say, I'm going to the cafe in my summer suit?
blues, you know?
And P, I call him P in my notes, so I keep saying P. But he says, like, that's not your fucking call, and chokes her really, really hard, and thank God the boys come in to save the day.
And I literally go, well, that lasted an episode. Like, he didn't touch her all the way to the end. And then he did.
And can you imagine the relief she must have, the sadness and worry about your son walking in and seeing it, but just the relief because your 6-year-old son just saved you from this assault.
And he kind of looked at her, like the kid, kind of looked at her like, everything all right? Like, you know, he didn't see anything, but it was almost like as he walked in, he realized he kind of walked in on something.
Agreed. And
I think kids are a lot more aware than we give them credit for.
Oh, they definitely are. And who knows? Maybe he knew. Kids are sneaky. They're watching you when you think that they're not watching you.
Exactly.
So who knows?
So I think we should,
Two Truths, One Big Lie? Sorry, I just burped.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost another listener.
Alright, 2 truths, 1 big little lie.
Let's play a game called
2 truths and 1 big
Little Lie.
Alright, you want to go? You want me to go? You want me to go? She's drinking her beer. 2 truths, 1 big little lie. I actually did not do mine on a cast member. I did mine on the author of the book, Big Little Lies. Leanne, or I'm assuming it's Leanne. It's Liane.
Lion? Like
Diane?
Liane? She's Australian. I don't know.
Liane. Moriarty. So here we go.
Okay.
Truth 1. Moriarty had always loved reading and writing, but didn't really believe that people actually got published. Her younger sister called her one day to tell her that she herself was getting published, and in a fit of sibling rivalry, rushed to get her first novel published, which was actually children's fiction.
Okay.
Truth too.
Leanne, or Liane, is the eldest of 7 children, all of which are now published authors.
Truth 3.
Liane lives with her husband, son, and daughter in Sydney, Australia. She loves skiing, soccer, and watching her kids play Minecraft.
Okay.
So, Kristin, which
2.
is the... Which one's 2? God damn it.
Not 7 children, right?
She's the eldest of 6 children. Did you know that?
No.
I'm gonna stop telling you who I'm doing.
Well, then what if we do the same person?
I'll say if I'm doing a girl or a boy.
Okay.
God damn it. All right, go.
Okay.
You're up 2. 2 to 0.
Okay, so mine is,
What gave it away?
it was just honestly a guess.
Go.
Nothing in there you could have improved. I probably would have done the same.
All right, Miss People Pleaser.
Actually, you know what? You do suck at life. No, I'm just kidding. That's me being...
Let's have a feud.
Maybe in a few. Okay, so mine is James Tupper, who plays really cool guy, Nathan. Truth 1. James Tupper has been dating Anne Heche since they met on the set of ABC's Brothers and Sisters. Truth 2. James Tupper played David Clark, Emily Thorne's father, on Revenge from 2011 to 2015. Truth 3. After high school, James Tupper lived on a coffee farm in Kenya.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 2. Choose the lie.
Nope.
God damn it!
James Tupper has been dating Anne Heche since they met on the set of ABC's Men in Trees.
See, I'm gonna start doing what you do.
What?
I'm trying to have too much fun with mine, and I need to just change them just a little bit. God damn it.
I mean, to be fair, James Tupper, love you, love what you've been in, but
Wait.
you haven't done a lot, so it's not a lot to find out.
Anne Heche?
Anne Heche.
I was picturing Anne Hathaway.
My lie.
I thought Anne Heche was gay.
My lie was going to be, but I didn't realize that he was still with her.
Oh, wow. Good for her, because I know
didn't
she's
realize,
kind of...
yeah, but I didn't realize he was still with her. I knew they'd been together. They've been together for a really long time. However, my truth was going to be like James Tupper dated Ellen's Portia de Rossi, and then I realized that Anne Heche and him are still dating. So
All right, you win. God damn it, I'm going to end up eating fucking ass of an animal here again.
yep.
All right, that was 2 truths, 1 big little lie.
And 1 big
Little lie.
The next scene, we've got Jane with the psychologist who's just evaluated Ziggy.
I hate to. Oh my god, you know who this is, right? But I do want to know if you know who this is.
The doctor?
Yeah, you probably
No, I don't.
So there was a Friends episode where Monica and Joey
I wasn't allowed to watch Friends.
You watch Friends. There's an episode where Joey and Monica sneak into a cooking class because she doesn't like how somebody had reviewed her. So they go into the cooking class and she pretends like she doesn't know anything about cooking. Mm-hmm. And I was like, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? And she's the one that plays the cooking teacher. It's nothing too
Of course
grand.
you would spot that random
how
tiny
many
little...
times have I seen each episode of Friends? It's not of course. It's if I didn't,
I don't remember any of that.
all this wasted time watching Friends is just completely wasted. If I can't identify the cooking teacher.
Speaking of friends, Ziggy and Almabella are friends.
Yes.
He is not a bully. In fact, he himself may be being bullied. Is what the doctor comes to, and Jane is actually, I think she's crying from relief. Mm-hmm. The doctor does mention that Ziggy thinks his dad might be Darth Vader,
Which is adorable.
and he shows some concern about, if you ask my mom about my dad, she's gonna get
Have a
weird
funny
about
look
it.
on her
Yeah.
face.
But it was a
Sad.
good scene, and it was good confirmation as the viewer
Yes.
to know, at least to
From
know
what we
that
know.
he's not the bully. And Jane seems relieved, and that actually he may be having some anxiety and she wants to see him again. But that was a good scene.
Yeah.
This next scene.
Yeah, I really don't like this.
Okay, so let's, in a nutshell, we find out that Madeline and Joe have had a sexual relationship in the past several times.
She's no longer my spirit animal.
I know, and he is in love with her, and he doesn't want to keep this secret anymore.
It's been erased.
And
she says, like, Jesus Christ, seriously?
It's heartbreaking because her and Ed aren't having sex, and I don't know, I guess maybe this is why, but it's so sad because this is not in the book. So
it really shits on Madeline's character.
It does. I don't necessarily know why they did this unless to make it more... I don't know why they did this.
To give Madeline more of a storyline, but I don't like it.
You and I talked about this
because I like Ed so much.
I know you and I talked about this not recording, that we kind of wish we hadn't read the book before we watched the show.
Yeah,
just because we came into it with specific ideas about the characters, and that's difficult because this was not in the book. And
I wonder how Leanne felt about it. Leanne or whatever.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't know what she thought about this. And why. I would be curious to know the reason why it was done.
Yeah, me too.
Because I don't necessarily understand it.
I don't like it. I was really annoyed by it.
So we'll see how that unfolds, because I love her marriage with Ed, so that really kind of...
It really shits on it.
It really does, and you're right. I don't like her. And maybe
I
would have still liked her had I not read whatever. Celeste with Counselor.
Or even if it was like, I'm not saying cheating of any sort is good, but in watching a show, if maybe it was a one-time thing that she accidentally did. But to find out that this isn't the first time and her response is, this didn't happen, it's erased.
No, and it's actually really mean delusional to Joe, because as we've seen in previous episodes, she strings him along and flirts with him.
Yeah.
Celeste is with her counselor and is asking for advice because she wants to go back to work and she's looking for communication ideas. And this counselor is good. She hones in on it straight away. Why are you afraid to tell him? And she's obviously scared. Mm-hmm. But she says several times that she's not scared. And
you repeat something over and over again when it's not
right. That's like when I look in the mirror and I say, "You're not fat. You're not fat. You're not fat."
And it still stays true.
Is this the first time we've seen a weakness or fear of Perry from her? Like a legitimate... Because it's clear she's scared of Perry. And what we have seen in previous shows is her sort of...
Strength.
Her strength and her sort of like, come at me, bro, attitude. Like, she's not going to cave and give him what he wants.
Well, it's like going to Halloween Horror Nights and pretending you're not scared of everybody coming out at you.
Oh, have you and I been to Halloween Horror Nights together? Mm-mm. You would not want to go with me.
I don't like people jumping out at me.
I am a pussy, and I have to be in the middle, and I scream.
Well, see, I have this fear that they don't do enough background checks at Halloween Horror Nights, so the one person is going to come out at me scream style and kill me.
Well, you've heard the stories from the first season, or the first time they did. Mm-mm. That's why people aren't allowed to wear costumes anymore, because guests were, some of them were sexually assaulted by the actors playing.
Cool. Awesome.
Another interview scene, and people talk about how bad Celeste looked, that she looked scared, didn't look the same, seemed upset.
Maddie shows Jane Saxon Banks, or Baker, or whatever his name is. And then Jane says she thinks it's him. If she heard his voice,
she would know for sure.
The smell, she would know for sure.
And we get the first picture of who this guy is that could be Ziggy's dad. And there's just a bunch of weird scenes of Jane at a gun range shooting him.
We keep seeing her shooting somebody in the head. This isn't the first time where it's been like a dreamlike sequence where she looks up and she has a gun and she just shoots somebody straight in the head. It's fucking jarring.
So it definitely makes it seem like she's gonna shoot someone in the head. She comes into her house and she's singing that motherfucking asshole song.
Yeah.
And then, so beforehand we've seen clips of her running, and it's like she doesn't realize she's on the edge of the cliff and sort of like, saves herself. And then the end of the show is her jumping off the cliff.
Yeah.
Which is this symbolizing something. Like,
spoiler
that's
alert.
it. She's losing control. Is she going? Is she following him? Is she going to track him down? Does she end up being the killer?
Yeah.
Because we know that somebody dies in this.
Yeah.
So definitely a change is going to happen for her character.
Oh, yeah.
So what did you think about this episode?
It was good. It was very good.
I liked it a lot.
I don't like what they're doing with Maddie, but I like the episode a lot.
What do you think about their timeline as far as episodes we have left and where we're at with this
Fourth, I think that we have the potential to fit a lot in the next 3 episodes, so it's going to get more exciting and more exciting.
Agreed.
I really liked, and this is the second song, because the song that she was singing originally, Jane, the fuck you, go to fucking hell or whatever it was song, trailed off into the credits, but I was doing something else, so the show was still running. Did you hear the Black Mirror song?
Yeah.
I loved that. I was like, oh, I just want to tell Bethany that. Like
when the music started. Yeah, definitely.
Try to blame me.
All right. Well,
if you're smart, you'll tune in to our next one. No,
we're just staring at one another. We both like take deep breaths because we're gonna have to do another like
because we know we're about to do this all over again. 4 beers deep.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to us again. Please send us anything that you think. Send us a recording. We'll air it. Just send us shit. boobtubebuddies@gmail.com, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, little buddies.